Hello, I am R.J.Wellington and this is the second video in the Transformation Dynamics trilogy. And if you haven't watched the first video about the nature of reality, I strongly advise you to go back, to stop this video right now and watch the first one. Okay? In the first video we mentioned the three basic philosophic questions. What is reality? Who am I? And why am I here? In the first video we answered the first question, what is reality, based on the transformation dynamics hypothesis and quantum physics. And again, I have to say that transformation dynamics is not a dogma, it is not the final truth, it's just based on my years of experience with metaphysics, with deep meditation, and working with real people like you every day. So, in this video, we will try to answer the question, who am I? We'll try to give you an answer to that question according to our theory, to our hypothesis. Okay? In the last video, we spoke about choices. And we know that we do have choices. We are always exercising the power of choices in our lives, whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not. But I ended the video by saying that there are forces that hold us back. There are forces that control our choices or that limit our choices at this point, operating in this three-dimensional reality. So these forces basically keep us locked, keep us quote-unquote enslaved in an illusory reality. So basically what they do, they limit our choices and they limit our levels of freedom and control. And that is very dangerous because we are unlimited beings. But we have been limited throughout all our lives by these forces that I will be discussing in this video. I will be showing you exactly what they are. So, at this point, you can consider yourself, you who are listening to this video right now, having a double life. Literally, there are two yous in this universe right now. So again, you are living a double life. In one of these lives, you see yourself or you perceive yourself as a limited being because you are literally an artificial being trapped in an illusory synthetic reality at this point. And this may be hard to grasp or hard to understand, but hopefully as we go along this video you will have a better understanding of this. And if you don't like what I share, if you don't like what I say, it doesn't matter. You can just turn off that video and keep living your reality as it is. You have the choice. Again, it is all about choices. But what defines your choice at this point? So we spoke about one aspect of yourself, that limited, that artificial being trapped in an illusory, synthetic reality. And what is the second aspect? It is an unlimited field of consciousness with unlimited possibilities. And the whole job of transformation dynamics is to help you see this truth, to realize this truth. And for that we have many processes, many ways of getting to that point where you realize that and you find what I call freedom and control over your personal reality. You don't care about controlling anybody else or anybody's reality, because the only reality that exists for you, as we saw in the first video, is the reality that you perceive. and how you perceive that reality counts a lot. So in transformation dynamics, we go way beyond the normal, the average, quote-unquote, self-help philosophies. Some people come to me and they say, I want to improve my finances, I want to improve my health, I want to improve my love life, to find a better spouse or a better partner, or I want to improve my social life. And I tell them, yes, that is very easy, I can help you with that like in 1, 2, 3. But I don't want to help you improve your nightmare. I want to help you wake up completely from that nightmare. And that's what most so-called self-help or even metaphysical systems do. They just help you to improve a part of your nightmare. Then you will still be a miserable or at least a sleeping person with some more money in your bank account, or with some more muscles, more energy, or with a better spouse. But that is not the objective of transformation dynamics. Our goal here is to show you the core of who you are and how you can take full control of your version of reality. That's what transformation dynamics is all about. Now, talking about the matrix, let's first analyze a quotation from one of the biggest quantum physicists, Max Planck. Max Planck said, all matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. That was said by Max Planck. Now, in transformation dynamics, we mention 3 minds, and pay close attention to this. Write down if you have to. There is a universal or cosmic mind. That's what Max Planck talks about. This universal mind that is creating, that's keeping this reality alive. But there is also a collective consciousness frequency that is a lower level of the Earth's whole energy. That's the collective consciousness frequency, and that's what we call the matrix. So we have the universal or cosmic mind, which is the field of unlimited possibilities and probabilities. We have the Earth's collective consciousness frequency. That's where you are trapped right now. And we also have an individual mind. It's pretty much like drops in an ocean. And we'll be talking more about that later. So The Matrix, the movie, the picture you see here, was a cult movie that made many people question their reality as it is. There is a lot of symbolism in that movie, and if you haven't watched The Matrix, I would advise you to watch that movie, paying attention and comparing that to this video, to what I'm saying here right now, because fiction usually imitates reality. And The Matrix is basically the story of a guy who was not conformed with his reality as it was, and he was trying to find what was behind it. He knew that something was wrong. And I truly believe that if you got to this video, if you were attracted to watching this video, you might be in the same situation. You know there is something beyond this reality that you observe, this reality of suffering, of problems, of issues, this reality that seems like a loop in the twilight zone. It applies to most of us because we are really locked into a matrix. So Max Planck talks about the universal cosmic mind. And again, there is the collective consciousness of this planet in which you are trapped at this moment. And there is your individual mind, which is your token to freedom. In the last video, in the first video of this trilogy, I talked about the so-called neuro-interactive simulation. That is the reality that you are living in right now. That's the reality that you are observing through your five senses. And we saw that our five senses can be very limited. This reality, this neuro-interactive simulation, is also what some people call the collective consciousness. And I will show you exactly what it is right now. So as they say in the Matrix, buckle up your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye. In the Matrix, there is a concept about the human beings being used as batteries. And I have to tell you that that is not far from the truth in some way. And I have to make it clear that not everything that they show in the Matrix is true. There are no machines controlling this planet. And later on you see that we are creating this. We are agreeing with this creation. But let's talk about the state in which you are now. Okay? Comparing that synthetic being that we spoke before with your unlimited being. That synthetic being is used as a battery. And the good thing to know is that we are doing that. We are feeding and keeping the current system alive. You are doing all this. You have all the power to belong, to be a slave of the system, to choose to be a slave, or to choose to be free from the system. So that is the good news. And our thoughts and emotions are feeding this system every day. We are keeping the system alive through our thoughts and emotions. Why? Because we agree with rules, codes, creeds, dogmas, common sense, just based on what I call the imitation syndrome. If everybody is doing this, or if authorities say it is so, I would rather follow than look different. That is the core of the imitation syndrome. Why? We need to fit in. We need to belong. We need to be loved and approved. And we also have a need for safety. And that's why we have to agree with beliefs, with rules, with creeds, with dogmas. But we have to understand, if we truly want to be free from the system. And when I say free, I'm not mentioning being against the system. I'm not in favor of those people who talk about a system that controls a negative system. No, it is what it is. It is a system that we are creating together. So the best way to free yourself is to understand that all these are based on social programming. Social programming, that's one key word here. There are some people who know the system and they can get around manipulating things, manipulating the collective consciousness. You understand a little more about this soon. So, what we say in transformation dynamics is that to be truly successful and happy, you have to break through the myths and you have to express your originality. You have to let go of the need to fit in, which is a basic human need. In the past, our ancestors, they had to belong to a tribe. If they were expelled from a tribe, they would suffer, they would die, they would have protection. But now, we don't live in the same settings as we lived thousands of years ago. So again, the truly successful and happy people have broken through these myths. and have expressed their originality. They don't want to be like the flock. They don't want to be one more. They don't want to be enslaved by social programming. Now let's talk about the two levels of energy drainage. We spoke about the battery, that you are basically a battery to the system as it is right now, the system that you are feeding, the system that you are creating with your consciousness. So there are two levels of energy drainage that drain your battery, drain your life force. One is the physical level. And in the system as it is today, as it works today, again, which is not good or bad, it is what it is. It is what we choose to participate in. We choose to be enslaved by this. So the rule of the physical level nowadays in three-dimensional reality is to produce and to consume. And look at your life. Take a look at your life right now. That's what I do. You have to work probably 40 hours a week if you live in the United States, or even more hours if you live in other places, to produce and to consume. Then you make your money, you make your wages, you are working to make someone else very wealthy, and that same money that you get, you have to give back to the system through consuming, be it buying a house, be it going to a shopping mall and buying clothes and shoes, whatever it is that you buy, even food. So you are basically feeding this system at the physical level. And we also have the energy level. And that's what concerns us the most in transformation dynamics. Because if you are free to produce and to consume the way you want, because it is possible for you to work 3, 4 hours, 5 hours a week and make more than someone who works 40 hours a week. And you can consume whatever you want. There is nothing wrong about consuming. That's money flowing. That is the energy of money flowing. But pay attention to this. I'm talking about the way the system make you believe. Okay? The way the system enslaves you. So, at the energy level, we have thoughts and emotions. And these elements are the fuel. There are people feeding on those emotions. There are people who profit from you being in fear, from you being worried, from you being in a negative state. So I say that a few profit from the many that give their energy away. So in this planet right now we have, as I speak, we have around a little more than 7 billion people. And I will tell you that 99.9% of these people are locked in this system. They are having their energy drained on the physical and on the energy level. But I'll show you how to get out of this. I don't want to scare you. I just want to show you reality as it is, so you can understand where you are, so you can understand where your problems come from. So the big question is, do you feel like you are just repeating the same routine every single day? And that is another movie that I advise you to watch. It is called Groundhog Day. And what I call the Groundhog Day syndrome is this everyday sameness that you live in. You wake up, you go to work, you eat, you get back home, you watch some TV that just keeps the programming going. You go to sleep, and the next day what happens? You wake up and you start it all over again. And this keeps on going and going until you reach your 60s or 70s and you decide to retire. And then you see that you lost a whole lifetime repeating a pattern. repeating a cycle. And the dangerous question is it what you call life? And again, I have to make it very clear. I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. Some people love to be in this pattern, but the videos I produce and my system of transformation dynamics is for those who want to get out of this pattern. If you want to keep living on this pattern, you shouldn't even be watching this video. This video is for those who see, who feel that they can be free, that they can live a different life and get off this routine. And this Groundhog Day syndrome is the reason why most people are miserable, most people are unhappy, and why most people get sick. Disease, sickness, is a way of getting out of that system with a justification. Now, if we think about it and if we ask ourselves, what would happen if everyone became free and happy in this planet? That is a utopia, and you might say this can never happen. Why you say that? Because you're trapped in a system that don't allow you to be free and happy all the time. What if everyone were healthy? Imagine the damage it would cause to the medical industry as it is now, that makes the profit billions and billions of dollars all over the world, selling you cures for illusory diseases that could be easily treated or healed by natural elements. And what if everyone stopped consuming blindly as we do today? Again, I'm not against consuming. It is great if you make enough money. If you love yourself, you'll be buying things that you want. But nowadays, in this three-dimensional reality, most quote-unquote slaves are consuming blindly things they don't even need or they don't even want. What would happen if this were true? Everyone became free and happy. Everyone were healthy, totally healthy. No need for doctors, for medicines, for drugs. And what if everyone stopped consuming blindly? Well, the system as we know it would collapse. And that creates a lot of fear, because negative people think that a system collapse would represent suffering for all. But would it? Who knows? When we talk about collapsing the system, we're talking about freedom. We talk about living a different reality in which most of the things that happen today, including your misery, your suffering, or your troubles, would not exist as they do today. So, there are groups trying to keep the system from collapsing because, again, they are profiting a lot out of this. And that's why it is important for them, very important, to keep the illusion going. Again, and sorry if I'm being repetitive, I have to emphasize that over and over again. I'm not a conspiracy theory fanatic. You know, I believe that everything is perfect as it is because we are agreeing with this. And we could end this in the blink of an eye. But again, talking about the current system that we are creating ourselves, it is important to keep the illusion going. So, you have a lot of elements that help you, that helps to keep you under bondage somehow. You see, on TV, you get this buy, consume, obey. You are being fed that subconsciously every single day of your life, and you're feeding that to your family. You are teaching that to your kids. You are keeping the illusion alive. That's how much power you have. That's the point from which I want you to see this. Your power is creating this. You are buying into this. Because no mind in this planet is stronger than yours. All minds have the same capacity, the same potential, the same strength. But some minds that know how the system works, how the game works, are far ahead of you, winning the game. And in transformation dynamics, we teach you the rules of the game and you give you very specific processes so you can start winning the game regardless. So, how do we keep this illusion going? Through political systems, through religious and scientific dogma, through media, like before it was radio, then came TV. Now we have the internet. And lately we got used to smartphones. And ironically, smartphones are being used to make people dumber in this universe, in this planet, in this reality. You see now people of all ages, not only teenagers, but people of all ages, spending more time typing on a smartphone than having social interactions. So all this is part of the illusion, this illusion. And I'm not saying that any of this is wrong. Radios are wonderful, TVs are wonderful, the internet. If it wasn't for the internet, you wouldn't be watching this video now. And smartphones, you can communicate with anyone instantly without having to go to a public phone, right? So it is all amazing. These are all amazing creations of mankind. But they are being used to enslave you at this point. Even political systems and religious and scientific systems could be used totally to the growth, to help the growth of mankind. But they are being used now in a different way, to enslave you. But remember, this is an illusion. It is all an illusion. This is not a reality. And that's the freeing part of it, the part that helps you get free. Again, we help maintain this status quo. We are enslaved as long as we allow it to be the way it is. One more time. This is not good, this is not bad. This is just a stage that we are going through so we can evolve. We can look at things and we can improve as a society, as a planet. But to get out of the illusion, you must know its core structure. And what is the structure of this illusion? Can you figure it out? I will help you, but as Morpheus puts it in the Matrix, this is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. Either you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe, as you have been believing all your life. Or you take the red pill, and you stay in Wonderland, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Do you want to take that challenge? Do you want to know what the Matrix truly is? So keep watching this video. If not, just turn off this video right now. What comes after this may be dangerous, may be threatening, especially if you are a dogmatic person. So just reviewing the last video, the first video of this trilogy, I said that we are faced with choices all the time, and I hope that at this point you understand that, you have realized that you do have choices in your life. And I said also that your choices determine your personal reality, but there are forces controlling your choices. And I promise that I will show you what these forces are. I'm giving you basically exclusive information. I'm giving you things that you probably never heard about before. The way it is, the way I'm sharing with you. So here I also plan to give you the response to who you are, to that big philosophical question, who am I? So now, without any further interruptions, I will introduce you to the matrix. Now, here we read this chart, this graphic, from the bottom up. And there, right at the bottom, there is a level of reality, or a level of energy, of consciousness. Remember that reality is made of consciousness and energy. And that is the bottom level, which is not a level of the matrix. Pay attention. We enter in the matrix from level 1 through 4. This level is you as you are originally, as you were meant to be, a physical, mental, and emotional being with energy bodies. Your emotional body is energetic, your mental body is energy, and your physical body is made up of what? Atoms, subatomic particles. So you are a field of energy that can be called a pure, unconditioned consciousness. That's what you truly are. That's all it is. A blank canvas in which you can draw, you can paint anything. So again, that is not a level of the matrix. But as we get into three-dimensional physical reality, we enter the matrix. That's how the system is today. So the first level of the matrix is the level of personal beliefs. It is your self-image. Who am I? How do I see myself? Your self-image. What you think, what you believe about yourself as a being. And a great master called Maxwell Maltz, creator of this psycho-cybernetic systems, said, your self-image limits what you can be, do, and have in your life. So that is very strong, that is very powerful. That is the first level of the matrix. And you are trapped in that level as long as you have a negative self-image. As long as you don't love yourself. As long as you have negative concepts about your own self. And that mostly comes from what I call the parental imitation syndrome. You were born in a family, and unfortunately your parents were also trapped in the matrix. They didn't have choices. They didn't have a user's manual on how to raise you as a free person. And that created a very restricting identity. And that's how you perceive yourself. That's the person you see when you look at the mirror. What you see, how you feel when you look at the mirror. You feel extreme love for yourself, for who you are? Or do you feel bad? Do you feel ugly? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel whatever it is which is in a negative frequency? But the big question is, who has the power to define your identity? To define who you are? Who are you allowing to do it? You have the illusion that you are your name, your race, your nationality, your color, your personal history, your past. You are none of that. Remember what we said. In your double life, you have a life as infinite consciousness, an infinite field of energy. So, the advice is, don't let the matrix tell you who you are. Because if you do, you'll be in big trouble. So this is the very first level that holds you, that traps you in the matrix, is your self-image, your idea of who you are. the way you see yourself. If you are able to break through this, you will experience the promise of Maxwell Maltz. You can be, do, and have whatever you want in your life, because what is keeping you from that is the current self-image that you identify yourself with. Now, the second level of the matrix gets even more complex. Each level gets more complex, by the way. And this is the level of rules and traditions. And there we include the social, religious, tribal rules, the collective beliefs of a group, of a family, etc. And that's what we call the flock mentality. Because in order to belong, we usually give up our uniqueness. We have to follow. And we are born into a system with pre-made social, religious, scientific rules, the collective beliefs of a group, of a family. The first group that gives you these rules are, of course, your family, your close family, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, aunts, nephews, cousins. All your family is involved in this, in defining the rules in which you live in. And this literally runs in family. And I say that inherited beliefs are stronger than genetics. And that's true. I have worked with clients that tell me that they are afraid because, for example, breast cancer runs in the female members of the family. So they believe that they are genetically prone to have that disease. There are some people who come to me that live with a family that is totally financially challenged. And they spend all their lives going through financial challenges because they are just following rules and traditions of a family. And you apply that to religion. Again, at the core, no religion is good or bad. But as we see today, in the reality that we live, we are using religion to separate ourselves and to limit ourselves, which is worse. That is the tribal rules. Like patriotism. Many people would kill for the country, for the flag. And I'm in favor of loving your country, loving your culture, loving your people. But please, don't take that as something that you have to fight for, that makes you better than someone else. Because you are European, you are better than an Asian or an African. It is all an illusion. We are not better than anybody. And all these rules were learned. All these rules restrict us and keep us locked in the matrix. I told you it wouldn't be easy. So if you just stop and analyze your self-image and the rules you follow, all the beliefs that you have, that were basically sold to you, they were pushed into you. You didn't choose those. I usually say, if you were born in a totally different family, in a different country, in a different time, you would not be the person you are today. So that's when we see the illusion that which we think we are, that which we think reality is. But you are trapped in a matrix of illusion. That takes us to level 3 of the matrix. And it gets even more complex. As if it wasn't enough being locked into a self-image and into tribal, collective rules, you are also trapped into the scientific level of theories. And most people in this level literally see the gods in white robes. There are people who come to me and they say they are atheists. They don't believe in in any God, they don't believe in energy, they don't believe in any of this metaphysical BS. But they are totally hooked into science. So, they don't have a dogma in the religious sense, but they have their quote-unquote scientific dogma. And when I say this, I'm not in any way speaking against doctors, against scientists, against these people who are there trying to find new cures, trying to find the answers to help us live better. But I'm talking about this idea that they know everything. I know scientists, I know physicists, I know medical doctors, and they know, the true ones, know that science is in a constant state of evolution. And those who think clearly know that no theory is absolute as long as there is proof to the contrary. So nobody can say that this type of cancer, for example, is life-threatening or is terminal if only one person in this whole planet was able to heal from that specific disease. There are ways. And again, many scientists I have spoken with, some doctors I have spoken with, they are humble enough to realize we don't know everything. Probably 200 years from now, they will be laughing at our science and calling us prehistorics, as we now laugh at the science of the ancients of 100, 200 years ago. So this level, the level of theories, is another trap. And you have to realize that no scientific or even medical theory is absolute at this point. We are in a constant state of evolution. So we are learning about reality. We are learning about life, about our bodies, about our energy systems, about our minds. So if you're trapped on that level, you are limiting yourself as well. And that takes us to the final level of the matrix, as we understand it in transformation dynamics. That is the so-called level of natural laws and principles. The level of physics as we know it today, which includes gravity, electricity, aerodynamics, all the laws of physics as we know it today, as we are taught. But there we have another paradox, because many phenomena challenge the laws of physics. What to say about yogis who can levitate or walk through walls? And that is a big stretch of your mind, and you will only believe that if you see. So I'm not trying to force that belief into you, otherwise I would be trying to push you into a matrix of quote-unquote religious or dogmatic beliefs. But there are people who challenge the laws of physics, people who have remote viewing, psychics. This happens. It is happening every day. It is happening as I speak now. You don't know, you don't see, because you're not focused on that reality. Maybe because you don't believe it is possible. But you can also challenge the laws of physics. So that is another level that traps us. If we stop there and say, yeah, this is the whole truth, this is all. Because our physics is based on our limited perception of reality. We saw in the first video that our perception can be very limited. Our five senses are not totally trustable. Okay? And we know that some rules can be bent and others can be broken. So that's it. You have the whole matrix right there in front of you. So what do you think? Does that make sense? You are trapped by level 1, the level of your personal beliefs. You are trapped by level 2, the level of rules and traditions that you follow, that you swear by. Level 3, the level of theories. that includes all scientific and medical beliefs, which are just in a constant state of evolution. And level 4, the level of natural laws and principles, that you say it is impossible to break the law of gravity, but we have airplanes breaking that law right now. So even the laws of physics are based on a limited perception. So those are the 4 levels that traps the human being. And that takes us to a level above and beyond the matrix. The level of universal law is the realm of unlimited probabilities and possibilities that we spoke about in the first video. And one thing that you can notice if you pay attention is that that level takes us again to pure unconditioned consciousness. Because in reality there is only consciousness and energy in this universe. Everything originates from it. Even the matrix, these 4 levels that we see, we are creating this, we are believing in this, we are reinforcing this. So ironically, we go back to the same level. We start as pure unconditioned consciousness, and you go through a journey. You have to learn from people like me. You have to learn from transformation dynamics or any other legitimate self-help system or transformational system, that all you have to do is to break through these levels and return to your pure unconditioned consciousness state. Does that make sense? And that's why the symbol of infinity is not a straight line. It's like an 8 sideways, because this is like a pattern of always going back to the same place. We start at a place and we are here. The whole objective of this journey is to get back to that state of pure, unconditioned consciousness. So, to answer the question, who am I? And to get out of the matrix, to get out of it completely, you have to work on your self-image. Only you can answer that question. Who am I? What is my true potential? How am I undervaluing myself? So I will never dare to tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you who you are. You define who you are. Do you want to be a powerful person right now? Do you want to be happy, rich, popular, famous? You define that. If you break through the barriers of your self-image, what you were told it was, which is not true, which is just an illusion. So who are you? Whatever you want to be, whatever you define yourself as, or whatever you believe based on other people's opinions. If you think you are a minority, that's what you are. You'll be treated as so. If you think you are a being of infinite potential, and if you walk into places as you own those places, you walk through this world knowing that your Father owns all this planet, all this universe. You just have to change a small variable, and you will tell me who you are. Then we have to work on our belief systems. Those are the general beliefs that takes the next 3 levels of the matrix. And you have to always keep asking yourself, what do I believe as truth? What is truth? Nobody knows. Nobody has the ultimate truth. We are working with theories, hypotheses. But the theories and hypotheses of transformation dynamics, which match somehow some theories of quantum physics, they give you space to grow. They give you more freedom. It might not be the absolute, the ultimate truth, but it is something that will help you grow beyond who you are now. So what I believe as truth, what I want to keep on believing, who do I follow blindly? a specific philosophical system, a specific religion, a specific political idea, a specific utopia. Ask yourself, who is enslaving you? Who are you following blindly? And finally, what if all I believe is an illusion? And I tell you, it is. You are living in an illusion. But as we saw, it is very easy to break through this. It is not difficult at all. And when you start experiencing this, when you start thinking openly from your consciousness instead of from your beliefs, you will be able to see truth as it is, reality as it is, and most importantly, you'll be able to free your mind. And that's what transformation dynamics is all about. It is not about helping you make more money or help you finding the perfect partner. No, it is about freeing you completely, so you will live in a state of synchronicity. Once you live from consciousness, from the consciousness of who you truly are, this being with unlimited possibilities and probabilities, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about partners. You don't have to worry about being popular. You don't have to worry about business. Life will become a sea of synchronicities, and everything that is meant to you, the best, will just pop up in your field of reality, because you are observing reality from your level of consciousness, and reality responds to you every day. So I advise you to peel like an onion, as you see in the graphic, layer by layer of the matrix, of this graphic we just saw, the levels of the matrix, and free your mind from those levels. That's the best thing you can do for your life. And if you need our help, I'm here to help you. I teach processes, I teach techniques and ways for you to do that as quickly as possible. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and there will be another one in this trilogy, which will be called The Map of Consciousness. So we saw what reality may be. After all, we saw who you are, which is an open canvas that you can paint the painting, you can paint in the image of who you are. So nobody can tell you who you are. And in the next video we will discuss this field of consciousness, the map of consciousness, how you perceive reality, how you react, the way you react to the matrix, and hopefully that will help you break through the matrix even more. So stay tuned for the next video. And if you want to, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. There is a link there. That is not a live link because you cannot click on your video, but you just type Transformation Dynamics or R.J.Wellington on YouTube and you'll be in touch with me. And you can also visit our website to learn about my programs, to learn about my products, to learn about the free things that I give away that may help you break through this cycle, break through the matrix. So now you know what the matrix is. I hope I have helped you increase your level of understanding. I hope I have helped you wake up a little more. And I see you on the next video. Take care.